White Sox offseason grade, which perfectly timed right before we are ready to do this. We like, hey, it's about time to do this. The Athletic
yes.
posted
Their own grades of every franchise.
And it was done by every beat reporter, everyone who covers each of their teams. And James Fagan went ahead and gave the White Sox a big fat F.
That seems like headline grabbing more than anything. It seems a little unfair. I could see if they hadn't signed Benintendi somehow, and the major free agent you signed was Clevenger, and this turned out this news came out, I would definitely give a franchise an F for that. But you can't give them a complete failure if they got Benintendi. Although maybe the argument is Benintendi complicated your roster construction to the point where it didn't help you. Maybe that's his point. But
here's where I was with it. I wasn't that far from an F because wow. I would have been giving them a D. Let's just say
there's closer to fair.
Let's just say nothing happens with Clevenger, right? This like Clevenger's status quo, he signed, he's going to be part of our rotation. You got a solid rotation. You got a solid defender in the outfield, but you failed to address two of the glaring holes that have been on your roster for like 3 seasons now.
Yeah. We've done the same podcast, I feel, for the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day tomorrow, but it's Groundhog Day on this podcast. Thank you.
Well played, sir.
And I'm based on what happened with what's going on with Clevenger right now, I'm okay with the F. I'm not gonna come on here and say James Fagan overreacted, and it's more because of if you take, like we said, Benintendi, solid signing, Clevenger up until finding out this news, very decent never a bad 1 year contract. I might argue that from time to time. This one looks like a very bad 1 year contract at the moment, but okay. So, but again, the 2 same holes that have been on your roster since last season, at least, because you had Madrigal coming in the other season, but the 2 holes that have been on your roster since last season that needed to be filled are still not filled.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck, Rick? And okay, internal candidates. Is Oscar Colas ready? Maybe. Maybe not. This is the same organization that's always erred on the side of, well, we don't want to bring someone up too soon. We want them to get more reps at this level.
Him into the fire.
And now it's like, you're a right fielder. Maybe. I don't know. And then, you know what?
Sosa?
Does Rami Gonzalez, and Lennon Sosa, because they've had some reps, do they make a somewhat of a step forward this year? Maybe, but why even risk it? Your window, we're back to the window conversation. It's closing.
Yeah.
And it's closing. It's on the side of closing quicker than staying open. It's on the side of closing than staying open. So, yeah. I don't know what to say, but I think James Fagan is on target with an F, because I don't know how you leave. I mean, it's not to say there's not something else to happen through a trade or something, but at this point, it seems highly unlikely, but at this point, how those two, at least one of the two, give me one of the two, and right field seems like the one, because that one has been a hole for like 3 years. Second base, this is the second season of second base. This is the third season of saying we need a legitimate right fielder.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think again, I mean, it's out of left field, out of right field, however the joke is, but
yeah.
I think sorry, these jokes are getting worse. This is a tough way to start the year.
It is a tough way to start the year about, talking about such a depressing winter offseason for the White Sox.
But the deeper you look into it, the more a trade is the only way to solve some issues, and it could solve multiple issues at the same time. And who that is, I don't know, but it doesn't, obviously we're not hearing anything imminent. I'm almost wondering if Rick's going to roll the dice, go into, get the season off to a start, just hoping Romy and Sosa or whoever can actually just, stop, eat some innings in a way at second base, let Eloy show that he can stay healthy for a little bit, and, showcase him maybe, or I don't see a place for Eloy, I guess is my question. And although
I get what you're saying, the more I
he's
understand,
valuable at the same time.
I understand your point of view. Like, it's almost like he doesn't fit because it's too risky to put him in the outfield.
He's a DH.
He's a DH. But then you also have to deal with the fact of Grandal, who can't catch every day.
But here's the short-sighted part of my theory is Grandal's gone after this year potentially.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's a problem this year, but it's not necessarily a problem next year. But it just seems like he's the valuable asset, I guess, the enticing player to other teams potentially, that where you could get a legit second baseman,
or even a legit right fielder,
right fielder. Yeah. So,
I do want to play a little bit of a devil's advocate though on maybe why the Sox didn't make more moves in the offseason. And it's a common conversation. And I think we've done it multiple times in La Russa Palooza, and we actually counted the amount of games that Tony La Russa cost the White Sox last year.
Ouch.
And it was roughly, I think it was somewhere between 7 to 10 games we had calculated that La Russa actually cost the White Sox.
I don't remember an exact number, but
I think it was around, I think it was 7 for some reason.
That's a little bit high, but
I thought it was high. It's higher than because the number is like, hey, a manager is worth 5 games either way. I think that's the common phrase.
I think Ozzy actually said that once. So
yeah. So devil's advocate is, if the problem was the manager and you were 81 and you're going to get 5 to 10 games better without
unless
making
this manager is worse.
Well, yeah, true. Let's just. I'm playing the devil's advocate good side of this. I want to end on a high note, Smitty.
Okay, sorry, I'm crushing your dreams.
We started on a like okay note with Benintendi. Like,
it's getting worse.
This was an okay signing, and then everything just went straight to the toilet.
We totally fucked this up. We should have planned the show in reverse, so you'd be feeling better by the end of it.
Well, I'm trying to feel better. Yeah. So, if Grafal came on and made all the great statements,
let's say he's average, the complete average manager. That I think that's the way to.
You're still going to get 5 more wins then, because
that's what I'm saying. That's as positive as I can get on this.
So that's 86. That's 86. That's a playoff spot. That's probably a playoff spot.
Wow. All right.
That's a wild card spot. So all I'm saying is, we all know. And
dream
again. That's all I can do right now. All I can say is just go watch. If you haven't done it yet, I mentioned this before. Go to YouTube, watch the Tony La Russa press conference, and then watch the Pedro Grafal press conference, and Rick Hahn's face, and it says it all right there. So if Rick's thinking, all right, I constructed a team to win, I just had a buffoon I had to deal with for 2 seasons. Let's see what happens now. I don't think it's the right way to approach it again, but I'm playing the devil advocate side. I'm sticking with my F, but maybe the F isn't really an F because Rick's like, fuck you. Look at this team
fuck you.
Yeah. Look at this team. They're gangbusters now because we got a fucking manager who's alive.
I think he's not
sleeping on the bench.
I'd like to see a live webcam of Rick Hahn's face right now, if he's smiling the same way he was at the Grifol press conference, or if he
Oh
looks
my
more like
God.
he did at the Tony La Russa press conference.
Well, I think it's what you say. You go Benintendi, and he's like, yeah, Hendricks, Clevenger, yeah, Eloy and Wright.
Man,
he didn't run that one by me before he said it out loud.
Word Hole Media.